The video game industry is filled with delays, and so it's rare for a big company to give a release date window and then to actually beat it, but this has happened for every single game drop of the year so far. But still, when the winter drop was revealed to be coming out in December, I think we all expected a Christmas or New Year's update with just a couple of new mobs and a new weapon, but instead the mob count has grown to 5.5, and the list of other features has gone from 1 to, well, honestly, 1 and a bit. But Minecraft have just confirmed this is the end for the Mounts of Mayhem, and so what is the verdict? What else can we expect before the end of the year? And of course, what day is the winter drop coming out on? Well, I'm going to explain today because hello, I'm ABX Toycat by the way, and if you want to see more Minecraft news, you can subscribe to the channel. But let's start with the important start here, because what is coming to Minecraft this year? Well, interestingly, the two biggest things literally came out on the day of recording this video, because we were expecting two very big changes, the first of which is a new update for Bedrock. This is called the, I'm not kidding, 1.21.121 update. The 1.21.121.121.121.121.121.121.121.121 update is a really interesting one because it does bring just a few bug fixes which were all very non-specific, but the most important one is the fact that this fixes the very huge Minecraft PC issue which made the game entirely unplayable, which was improved input response having a memory leak. But what's interesting is they don't reference this anywhere on the changelog, and so great news for anyone who likes their Minecraft without bugs, but bad news for anyone who wants to understand what caused it because it's not listed. But also at the same time, this brought in one of the biggest changes that Minecraft has made in a while, because while they were very keen to announce the new Marketplace Pass the moment you load up this new update, the actual biggest thing found inside of it is the new Vibrant Visuals Dragon Ball Z DLC. Ooh yeah, look at this. Wow, I'm doing this in my Minecraft world. The power of a balloon screen is incredible, huh? But no, more seriously, this is a brand new piece of DLC that did just drop, and it's the final big brand collaboration of the year, or at least so we think, because the next big thing to release is going to be the Mounts of Mayhem drop. This was originally slated to just be releasing in December, but as you might know, we know a little bit more about when these updates release, because December isn't quite specific enough. Oh, what are you doing here? That's right, without doing any additional research into this update, anyone who follows Minecraft updates would be able to tell you that December is a month that has 31 days, at least according to my calendar, and of those 31 days, most of them wouldn't have a Minecraft update. This is because on weekends, Minecraft updates don't release, and generally when they release on a weekday, it is a Tuesday. This means the most likely day that the update will be coming out is any one of these 5. Wow, isn't that easy? We've narrowed down a month of 31 into 5, and then you can realistically go a step further and say that because Mojang take a long, or not long, but they take a Christmas break that extends from around Christmas, which is the 24th in Sweden, all the way through to the New Year, it means that there's actually a whole week this won't be releasing in, and so it's only one of 4 days that this can be releasing on if they were telling the truth about it being December, and if this is going to follow usual Minecraft update conventions. This is really fun because it means that you can look at the calendar and with just 4 days to pick from, not really have to know anything else to know that, woo, we have a Minecraft update that's coming out in one of these 4 days. Pick any one of them and you got a 25% chance of getting it right, but I was sure before anything about this update came out that we were almost certainly going to see it on the 23rd, but now we are seeing information that starts to contradict that. That is because Minecraft explicitly said, at least with this tweet, if you think their social media person is on point, but I assume if they are specifically saying it, then they are saying it on purpose, but they said this is the final testing moment. Now that has one of two separate interpretations. Interpretation 1 means this is the final testing moment, there is no more testing for the Mounts of Mayhem, therefore after this point we're going to throw it in certification. That might make it sound like it's going to go into release next week or the week after, but certification is a Bedrock process, and the second way that we can look at this is we can say this is our final set of new features, but we still have to do some more testing. What is the difference and why does it matter? Well, certification is a Bedrock only process. On Java, they can release whatever they want anytime, which means they could have an update as broken or not as they like. I mean, this is true on Java too from the memory leak. They clearly didn't do the certification process very well in the store, but certification is something that exists for all of the consoles and phones so that when you download an update to an app, you know that it's not going to immediately break your console. It's not going to break your console or your phone, because both Xbox, or in this case Android, are going to, or, the Google Play store, are actually going to make sure that this is an update that is fully functional, and this having to happen for Bedrock across all of the platforms. It's not just your Xbox and your Android and your iPhone and your Nintendo Switch and your Windows Store and everything, but it's every single platform out there, and because this process usually is done within a week, but can take up to 2 or 3, usually this means that the time between an update going into certification and coming out of certification tends to be about 2 to 3 weeks, which means that if we want a simple answer to the question of when is the update coming out, well, about 2 to 3 weeks after we know that it has gone into certification. And so there is the answer to your wait, that's not an answer. I say we started this video talking about the release date, and here we are close to 5 minutes in, and we haven't just committed to a date, and that is because of the kind of vague wording that comes from the final testing moment. If this is the final day of a Bedrock beta and preview, and if the Java snapshot is in a similar, or at least not more than a month behind phase, which it doesn't look like it is, if this is the final testing snapshot preview, then what will happen is the update will be coming out on Tuesday the 2nd, because 3 to 4 weeks from now is Tuesday the 2nd of December. If they mean this is the final testing moment, like the moment to test the final set of features, which to be clear, I don't think is true. It would be weird if they didn't do a bug fix preview like they usually do, but if there is another week or two just to finalize things, do that last round of bug fixing, make sure that it's going to pass cert, then what you'll see is we'll probably have a new preview on the 11th, and then maybe another new preview on the 18th, and then we're more likely to see the update coming out on the 9th or the 16th. But in either of these cases, no matter how you interpret this wording, instead of seeing a release date which is at the latest possible Tuesday that Minecraft could release this on, instead we're going to see this likely on one of the 2 earlier Tuesdays, and so a Minecraft update, the final Minecraft drop of the year, might be coming out on the 2nd or the 9th, which would be notably the shortest gap between 2 drops coming out, or at least 2 real drops, because I think the Bundles of Bravery released very close to the Garden Awakens, but in either case, the longest gap between 2 drops was between Chase the Skies and the Copper Age, and the Copper Age technically had a huge host of features. We actually ended up at over 100 if you count it out technically, whereas the Mounts of Mayhem is a drop that was developed in less time, just over 2 months as opposed to just over 3, and interestingly, it's one that has fewer features, but are they more significant ones? Well, this is what part 3 of the video is here to go into, because is the Mounts of Mayhem drop actually a decent one? I mean, it doesn't matter if it releases on the 2nd, it doesn't matter if it releases on the 9th or the 16th, if it's not a drop worth looking forward to, right? But this is the last official major event of the year. There's more coming, we'll talk about it in a minute, but this is the last major official event of the year, and so it's worth talking about whether it's a good one. And my honest final impression after having played with everything, I have only put a few hours into it. I did a playthrough where I only used the spear, and of course I've got the first impressions of the previews, which you might have seen right here on this channel, but as well as in just these things alone, I've got the impression that this is a drop that is kind of following the new theme for drops, which is just adding a bunch of new stuff in existing categories. This is an easy way to make people happy. What's the only thing that makes people happier than diamond horse armor? Neverite horse armor. What's the only thing that makes people happier than a mount which goes, on land? A mount that goes underwater, but also another mount that goes on land, and another mount that goes on land. What makes people happier than having all of these friendly mobs? A hostile mob that's just a new desert skeleton. I think that basically everything in this update is going to be immediately familiar, but I have an immediate cynicism. When you look at features like the spear, I think Minecraft not having added a new weapon or even a new tiered tool in 12 years does make it seem like, yeah, they should have waited. I think they needed to make this tool feel more special, because right now it feels like a niche edge case scenario tool. Sometimes you will want to make yourself a spear, and I think it's a really good defensive tool, and I think the charge attacks are really fun, but I do feel like on the surface, like, does the spear really fit? But then if I'm being even critical on my criticism, I would say that my biggest critiques about the spear and the camel husk and the parched kind of come down to this idea of like, well, do they solve any problem we don't have solved in current Minecraft? And my instinct is to say no. Do they have a real identity distinct to the current mobs? Well, only barely, but the truth is, this is actually what people love. People love this concept of like, yeah, it's basically the same as what we've got, but just a little bit different. And if you don't believe that, then take a peek at how any other games community is acting, especially the biggest live service games. I think Fortnite just added pets that only you can see on your screen. They cost $15, and some people are upset, but a lot of people are like, oh yeah, it's the Fortnite I know and love, but I get a new cosmetic, but like otherwise that doesn't affect things. This is perfect. This is how a lot of people want to play games. They want to have their cozy, comfort favorite games with just enough change to make it feel like it's worth going back into like it's new. I mean, I could also make a parallel to like McDonald's burgers. You know, whenever they do a big special these days, it's just like, yeah, it's the same ingredients, but rearranged. Well, guess what? It's a Big Mac, but with chicken inside of it. These are exciting concepts for people, and whether that is a good or a bad thing is something for another day, but I think that Minecraft is perfectly delivering on that. However, that isn't the question here. Is the Mats of Mayhem drop good? I've answered by saying, well, it's broadly going to be popular, just like how the copper drop was broadly popular. Most of the features are easily accessible. You can find the camel husk, the nautilus, and the zombie nautilus on your first night. You can craft a spear from your first moments in the game, and the only really hard things to see here are the brand new Netherite spear, horse armor, and nautilus armor. But then as I think about it a bit more, I kind of realize that there are some fundamental cool changes that this update is going to bring that will sit in there forever, and my two favorites are the Nautilus. Whether or not you intend to use it, I think just it's a cool way to cross the ocean, going underneath it and around it. I think it opens up new possibilities for deeper ocean caves in the future, and I think the same is true for Lunge. Lunge is a cool new spear exclusive enchantment. It's going to give you a reason to actually, if you've got like a long-term world, most of the features you can get in the first few minutes here, but getting yourself Lunge is actually going to be a little bit of, if not a challenge, then it's going to be something you really go after, and so this is going to be a drop that on the surface has very few features, but unlike the copper drop where there's lots of features where you're like, oh, it's the lightly waxed, weathered copper lamp, how very exciting that is for me. I think that every single one of the dozen or so major features in this drop are ones that have a lot of, like, you know, game playing potential and reasons to change even the most standard of Minecraft runs, and then even the tiny changes like, did you know piglins, zombified piglins, and husks will be able to hold spears? That's kind of cool. Did you know horses will be able to swim? That's really cool, actually. There's so much quality of life and world building and stuff like that in this drop that I think that genuinely, for the shortest development cycle of a drop so far, this is going to have the biggest impact in the long run, because I do think that the drop cycle that Minecraft is currently going through is very much about having flashy features that are basically the same as existing ones, adding variants to what we have already, while still kind of subtly and slowly making those changes under the surface. And I think those important changes are Lunge and I guess the Nautilus or the Breath of the Nautilus, depending on how you want to see that. I think those are having new Netherite horse armor. That is a way to seriously protect your horse, maybe even using him as a massive tank at some point. But I would say that even though there's a lot of cool features like that, there are a couple of features under the surface which do represent the fundamental changes, but I do think that it still needs to be said that as cool as these drops are, I don't think that they will work this way forever. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe this is the new way that Minecraft does updates from now until the end of time, but I still think that a 1.22, I still think a major mainline mainstream update is something that Minecraft needs, but that is something we might have to wait until later in the year to see, because to finalize this video, I mean, we could conclude by saying, did you know Minecraft has two brand new things today, the 1.21.121.121.121 update, as well as the Dragon Ball Z DLC. Also, Soulsteel got an update if you like your Minecraft live servers, but I think that those are the big things you need to know about today. Then we've got just over a month away now, the Minecraft Mats of Mayhem drop will be releasing on Java and Bedrock at the same time. Then, as far as what I think about the drop, I think this is one of the best drops in one of the shortest times, but it makes me wonder if they are going all out in this drop. Is it that the next one will be kind of a more minor drop as a result, or is it going to be in the same way that the Tricky Trials update was being, in the same way that the Copper Age drop was being worked on at the same time as the Happy Ghast update? Is it possible that while this drop is being worked on, either we are seeing the spring drop in its very early or maybe mid phases right now, or is it possible that 1.22 is in development? We're going to have to wait and see, presumably until 2026, to see that. But yeah, you might think to yourself like, wait, Toycat, you said there'd be something between here and the end of the year, and good news, everybody, there is a fun Java-only feature coming on December 24th to the 25th. It's Christmas chests. This is a really fun thing that happens every year, and if you're wondering, is this going to be coming to Bedrock? Well, they haven't said anything yet, but actually honestly, it's terrible news, because according to this Minecraft snapshot post, it was the one that for Halloween, they announced that they would stop the number of bats spawning from increasing during the Halloween period, which means that currently Minecraft is actually on a trend of decreasing seasonal events rather than increasing them, and so one of the biggest pieces of parity might remain this little Christmas event, which will be for Java players only. Will there be some other Christmas announcements from Minecraft? Yes, but it'll probably be a holiday marketplace sale. I would be impressed if they made some fun piece of free content, and I would also be impressed if there was something else, but those are the big things we're expecting to see from now until the end of the year. What else is happening in the Minecraft world? Well, I guess that'd be a fun video all for its own. Like, there are lots of big things being announced, including the next Minecraft movie and game and everything else, but we'll have to talk about that all another time, because for now, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like it if you did like it, share it if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here, because I'll see you in my new Christmassy outro. Look at this.